Skipper, firstly, happy birthday for yesterday. Did you get the chance to celebrate?
No, it was a quiet one on. Getting to the stage now where I don't really want people to know it's my birthday, just in football terms. But no, it was a nice day with my wife, my sons. So yeah, it was good. But hopefully be celebrating after the weekend.
Nice one. 4 games into the Championship season. How do you assess our start and how you're finding life back in the Championship, of course?
Overall, I think there are loads of positives to take from our start. The first 3 in particular, obviously, the only disappointing I think was QPR. We weren't ourselves. I know the manager said that, and us as players, we spoke after the game about it. We've had a lot of time to talk about it and think about it, with it being the break straight after that. Again, frustrating that we couldn't back it up to go and try and rectify it. But I think the break came, a bit of chance of reflection. We're in a good place. It's obviously new for a lot of people, this league, and it's learning that if you don't take your chances or you're not clinical, that you are punished, and good players will punish you more often in this league than they did in the last year. So it's again learning curves, but you're 4 games into a 46-game season. People still finding their feet, the squad still finding their feet. But no, we're in a good place now, and we're really looking forward to the weekend.
I was going to say, in those 4 games, you mentioned the QPR, of course, even in that, the beginning maybe we were a little bit slow perhaps, but in all of the games we've played so far, the performance levels have been there, maybe not 100% against QPR, but generally the performance levels have been there. Does that fill the squad with confidence, knowing that you can compete, basically?
Yeah, massively. Like the frustrating thing about QPR is we should never be losing that game. That's why we come away as players. You come on the pitch and we shoot ourselves in the foot a bit, allow them to get a goal. Fair enough, they started better than us. That can happen. But we react really well. We gain so much territory. We're dominant. We move the ball well. The pitch is a bit smaller than what we're used to in terms of like where we play at home. But we adapted well, and it's just that little bit that we were missing. But we got a goal, and then I felt on the pitch again it was only going to be us. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, like good players can come up with moments, and one of their players, he got a bit lucky with his finish, but it was a good run, fair play to him. But we can still do better, and that's but as a team we can do better, and it's not just an onus on the strikers to score. We pride ourselves a lot in set pieces, and our set pieces weren't great against QPR in terms of the areas we got into. So these are all learning curves for us. But only the good thing is now we've got a huge game on Saturday to go and rectify the defeat.
The last 5 matches at the Valley have seen crowds in excess of 20,000. When you signed for the club, obviously getting back to the Championship and playing in front of a packed out Valley must have been what you wanted to achieve.
Honestly, it's incredible. I knew obviously coming up from when the turn of the year last year, the crowd started growing and us as players, and we knew that could happen, and we knew the belief would come back. And the Valley was obviously a huge success, and us doing well last year and us getting to the point where we got to. And the crowd, we can't underestimate how good they are at home, particularly. Like, it's a very daunting place to come. Even I know Leicester beat us, but I think you could see they were on the ropes for a lot of the game, and that was due to them and how hostile they make it and how difficult they make it. And the support's been great even after defeat, even like again after the Leicester game, the appreciation, and after the QPR game, you can still see the majority. They're frustrated, but they understand that we're trying, and it was just difficult. It wasn't our day, but the home form in particular, the home crowd, it's been amazing, and obviously getting back into the Championship, but hopefully it can keep on growing, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing it on Saturday again.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd have had people come to you and say a packed out Valley is an experience to behold. Is it firstly for you? Is it everything you wanted for it to be? That sort of thing?
Yeah. Look, I've been very fortunate to play for some clubs that that can have the big crowds, and I played in some derbies as well. But I think the Valley, the playoff game last year at home, I've never heard, not when Godder scored the goal, the noise was, I've never heard much like that. It was incredible. And to be fair, just some regular league games now have been like that as well. Like, the crowd it's fantastic, and as players, and I've been an opposition player when I've experienced it, not at 20,000, but I've experienced it even when it was a bit less, and it is a daunting thing. So hopefully you can keep on growing, but again, that's down to us as players to put on performances, get results, and keep the fans coming. But I think they can see that they've got a team that fights for the badge, that fights for the club, and wants to progress this club, which is obviously a good thing for them.
We said you've experienced big crowds in your career, and I'm sure there are others in the squad that have done the same. But as a skipper as well, and a more senior player, there are players who wouldn't have experienced it, younger ones especially. Do you have to guide them as to what to expect before a game like that?
Yeah, but to be fair, like I say, a lot of the squad last year obviously would have experienced it at its best last year. But I think a lot of players coming through these days, I feel like that. Even though I sound really old here saying this, but it's like a different generation. They're a lot more confident. They thrive off that, and if we've got a team and a squad that I do believe thrives off occasions like that, and we rise to it, and we use it as fuel, and we use it to help us to go and get the result. And you know, like the game, the cover then could be huge for us. It always has been since I've been here, and you know, it's something that we use and we try and use to our advantage. And again, like I touched on, as an away player, it can be a daunting place to come and play football, and that's what you want as a home player.
Another one this Saturday, another big one this Saturday. I mean, they'll all be big, obviously, in the Championship, but this one in particular against our near neighbours Millwall, but supposedly the biggest crowd to watch the derby in over 50 years on Saturday. Really important to fans, despite our fairly rubbish record in the fixture generally. This one, it's one that fans would have looked out for. As a Rangers fan, you'd have been aware of big derbies, especially one of the biggest. Will that stand you in good stead as we get to Saturday? And are you aware as a player of the importance of a fixture like this going into a game like that?
I hope so. Sort of my experiences will stand me in good stead. You know, you always touch back on experiences you've learned in football, but I think, you know, when I came here and as soon as we got promoted, it was, you know, us as players were fully aware of, make no doubt about that, of how big a game this is. And like you say, every game in this league's huge because points they're so hard to come by, as it's shown. But you know, obviously I've had, since the fixtures were announced, and meeting fans, and that's another thing. You know, it's been great. We've been the interaction with our fans up until this point through pre-season. The start of the season's been really good, and they've all talked about this game and they're all excited for it. And I think it's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like this is why you're involved in football, to play in these games, to support your club in these games, to have that, to wake up on Saturday and think, oh, it's a big game. It's our local rivals, and this is why you want to play football, why you want to be involved, and this is what you miss when you're not involved in it. So it's an occasion that we all want to do our best in. We all want to, you know, we want to win. Of course we do, and it's an exciting one that we'll give our all to try and do that. Do
you have to try and blank out some of the noise though? Because I mean, a lot of fans will tell you that it's 95-96 season since we actually got a victory over Millwall. All right, there's been a number of seasons where we haven't been in the same league, so that doesn't really count. But our history against Millwall hasn't been great, and that particular season, Kim Grant, Lebo and Carl Lebo all etched their name in history because they got winning goals against them and did double over them, and there is that potential for players now that if you do something similar against a club like Millwall and our neighbours, you go down in a bit of history. Does that have to be blanked out so you can focus properly?
No, look, these games can be defined on moments, and I think this league is defined on moments. And you know, sometimes you need that player to stand up with a bit of individual quality, which we've seen in the past couple of games for us, and it's unfortunately been in the opposition. But these are the times that you step forward, that you know, you can put your, like you say, you can be etched in with names like you just said there. They're all names that, as a squad, we all know about very well. They're big names for this club. There's pictures all around the building of players that have went and done stuff for this club. That we've achieved, a lot of the boys in this dressing room so far have achieved a lot, obviously getting back to this league, but you know, that's parked now, and it's a case of, right, how do we progress? Okay, the next stage is to go and to be involved in these games, to come out on top in these games, to be productive in these games, and ultimately you want to win them. As a player, you want to win them. You don't want that feeling of losing a game. You know, it would hurt that little bit more, of course it would, and you want to win football matches, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're at a club that demands that, is to win. And you know, I'm sure the fans, they'll be demanding it. We do that on Saturday, and as players we'll be demanding, and I'll be demanding it of my teammates as well, and we'll be demanding the best of each other. And if we give, the gaffer always says, we give the best versions of ourselves, then we give ourselves a good platform to go and try and do that.
And just finally, deviating slightly from the whole Millwall thing this Saturday, if it's possible, that's a fixture that all Charlton fans looked at. I'm guessing for you, when we're coming back to the Championship, what would Hull have been up there as being one of the biggest you wanted to play in? Bearing in mind your history,
no.
Did you have one?
No, this was one. To be fair, this was. Listen, make no doubt about it. We know when you sign for a club, you're instantly made aware of who, and to be fair, it's very well known who with the Charlton Millwall thing. So it's not that I needed to know, but you know, these are games you want to play in. The atmosphere, they're hostile, they're tough. It's it's experiences, and you know, again, I say it. We want to come out on top on it. Of course you do. So we'll be doing our all to do that, and Hull obviously has a little one because I've played there, but this is a game that we all looked out for, and this is a game that we want to put a mark down, so we'll do our best to do that. And to be fair, the reaction from QPR in the defeat, we've had 2 weeks of training, obviously a mini break in between, but I've been really impressed with since we came back, so I'm excited for it, and the whole club is. There's a buzz about the place, and I can't wait to get to Valley on Saturday morning, early kick-off, and experience that, you know, the build-up, and then the game comes, and hopefully we can go and win.
Cheers, good luck.
Thank you very much.